Welcome to the One Place East Talking newsletter for April 2026, edition number 35. So at the top of the front page, there is an image. The background of the image is of trees and green grass, so green trees and green grass. And on the left-hand side, there is a white bunny rabbit. It's white all over, but has grey round its right eye and on its nose, and it has two grey ears. It's really cute. And in front of it is a very large bright orange carrot. And on the right-hand side of that bunny rabbit, there is a black One Place East logo and white bold text with orange outline, which reads Newsletter, April 2026. In the centre of the page, different from usual, we usually have 3 images. There is just one image, but I'm going to come back to that because the article underneath explains the image. So the text reads, One Place East wins Redbridge Chamber of Commerce Charity of the Year 2026. One Place East is proud to announce that we have been awarded the Redbridge Chamber of Commerce Charity of the Year Award 2026. We are incredibly honoured and grateful for this recognition, which reflects the dedication of our amazing team, volunteers, partners and everyone involved in our work. We also celebrate our fellow shortlisted organisations, Supporting Humanity Charity and Empowering Deaf Society, whose commitment continues to inspire the whole Redbridge community. A special thank you goes to all of you who voted for us. We are extremely grateful, not forgetting Gemma Bicknell, the Redbridge Giving Director, who facilitated the shortlisting panel and presented the award. This achievement marks an important milestone for One Place East and motivates us to continue championing inclusion, lived experience leadership and positive change across the borough. We look forward to building on this success and continuing to make a meaningful difference in Redbridge throughout 2026. So, yeah, really grateful for everybody who voted for us. This is actually the first time ever I found out yesterday that they've actually even presented this award. And so the image is of Margaret, Rick, Claudette and Cynthia on stage. It looks like, I wasn't actually there that day. Behind them there is like a big screen which has Redbridge Chamber of Commerce East London Business Expo, which is the big event that the award was presented at. And then I believe the woman next to Cynthia is Gemma Bicknell, who's mentioned. And then there is a man beside her, who I believe is also part of the Redbridge Chamber of Commerce. And they are all standing on stage. Cynthia's actually holding the award, which is now in the office for anyone who goes in. And yeah, they're all smiling and looking directly at the camera. And Margaret looks super chuffed. So yeah, really great achievement for us at One Place East. And then on the right-hand side at the bottom of the page, as usual, this month the text box is orange and it has the contents of the newsletter in black writing, which reads Inside, Mental Health Crisis Support Line, page 2, One Place East Annual Survey, page 3, OPE Faith Tour Series, page 11, PIP Community Feedback, page 12, and then there is a little thumbnail image of a programme that is enclosed of Mental Health Awareness Week. And that is the end of the front page. Page 2 is split into 2 sections. So top article is Nelft Mental Health Crisis Support moves to NHS 111 option 2 from 1st of April 2026. North East London NHS Foundation Trust in brackets Nelft has announced that from the 1st of April, urgent mental health support will move to NHS 111 option 2, replacing the previous 0800 and 0300 mental health direct lines. Nelft, which delivers community and mental health services across North East London, and CAM services in London, which is child and adolescent mental health services in London, Kent and Essex, will now direct anyone in crisis or anyone concerned about a loved one to call 111 and press option 2 to speak to a trained mental health professional. This service is available 24/7, 365 days a year. The change is part of an NHS England programme introducing 111 option 2 as a single national access point for urgent mental health support. Local crisis lines, including Nelft's Mental Health Direct service, are being integrated to simplify access, improve consistency and ensure callers are directed quickly to the most appropriate local support. Service users already known to Nelft can continue contacting their usual teams during working hours. but are encouraged to use 111 option 2 outside of those times or if urgent help is required. And on the left-hand side, there is a bright blue, or like the NHS type blue colour background with white text inside, which reads what I've just said in summary. And then there's a little phone, like looks like a Samsung phone, and it just says inside the phone, call 111, select mental health option. And then underneath that article, we have quiz night fundraiser rescheduled due to unforeseen circumstances. So there is the flyer. In our last newsletter, there was a flyer enclosed for a quiz night fundraiser for One Place East. That was due to take place on the 10th of April. Sorry. Unfortunately, we've had to reschedule this due to staffing issues. It's actually my fault, to be honest. So sorry for anyone that's affected. And we are still having it take place, but this time it will be on Friday the 22nd of May. It will be at the same place at the Kenneth Moore Theatre foyer in Oakfield Road, Ilford. And at the same time of 7 p.m. to 10:30 p.m. So if you have already booked and you've paid for your ticket, which is £15, your tickets can either be transferred to that date, the new date, or we can refund you if you no longer wish to attend or can't attend on the 22nd of May. If you are interested in coming along and supporting, please contact the One Place East office. You can call me on my mobile at 07944 119 899 or email me at Jodie, Jodie, .roast, as in roast chicken, at oneplaceeast.org. So if you are free on the 22nd of May, please do come down and support. We held one last year. It was a really, really successful night. Everyone loved it, and actually we're requesting for us to do it again, which is why we are. And that is the end of page 2. Page 3 is split again into 2 sections. So top half of the page is UK HSA issues warning as tuberculosis in brackets TB cases rise in Redbridge. The UK Health Secretary Agency, the UK HSA, has raised concerns about an increase in tuberculosis cases in Redbridge, urging residents to stay alert to symptoms and seek early medical advice. TB is a fully curable infection, but early diagnosis is essential to prevent complications and reduce the risk of transmission. Local health authorities are encouraging residents to ensure that they and their families are familiar with the symptoms of TB and to contact their GP promptly if they feel unwell or notice any persistent symptoms. So, symptoms to be aware of. The UK HSA highlights several key signs of TB, including, so not limited to, a cough lasting more than 3 weeks, sometimes producing mucus or mucus mixed with blood, extreme tiredness or exhaustion, high temperature or night sweats, loss of appetite, unexplained weight loss, feeling genuinely unwell, and children may also show difficulty gaining weight or growing. While TB most commonly affects the lungs, it can impact other parts of the body, leading to symptoms such as swollen glands, abdominal pain, or shortness of breath. What to do if you're concerned? Residents who feel unwell, recognise TB symptoms, or believe they have been in contact with someone diagnosed with TB are advised to either see their GP or call 111 for medical guidance, or call 999 if symptoms worsen or it becomes an emergency. For those who are worried about TB but do not have symptoms, advice is available through Community Action Redbridge if you call 07458 07475. I've just realised that is not a complete number. So if you do want to contact Community Action Redbridge, you can either Google their landline number or contact the One Place East office, and within the time you call us, we would have worked out what digit is missing from the number that has been provided. Further information on TB, its symptoms and treatment can be found on the NHS website. If you go to nhs.uk/conditions/tuberculosis-TB. So underneath that, there is a much smaller article, which is just a reminder to complete our annual survey. So this was included in last month's newsletter in March. The deadline to the survey, I believe, is the third week of April. So you still have a week or so to complete it. It's just so that we can report back to our funders what people think of our services. So even if you only get our newsletter but have accessed none of our projects, we still want to hear from you. So if you complete the survey, you can go to tinyurl.com/OPE survey 2026. You can scan the QR code on screen, or you can contact the office and request a paper version to be sent out with a free post envelope, or any of us at One Place East, but more so myself, can complete it with you over the phone, and we can do it online on your behalf, obviously with your consent. And if you complete the survey, which is not that long, and want to leave your contact details, you will be entered into a prize draw to win a £50 shopping voucher. So there's an incentive to complete it. And that is the end of page 3. Page 4, again, split into 2 articles. We've got a bit of a theme going on here. So top article is, it's got a really lovely mustard yellow background. There are coffee beans on the top half of the yellow background, just scattered all over. And there are 3 images at the top. So the title of the article is Celebrating Our Volunteers with Coffee and Conversation. So Shamila, Natalie and Martina, who run our befriending services at One Place East, had a little morning/afternoon, I'm not sure actually what time they did it, at a coffee shop in Wanstead, called Bobo and Wild in Wanstead High Street, just as a little get together to say thank you to all of their volunteers. So the 3 images that are overlaid on the top of the yellow background are of a variety of people. I'll be honest, I don't recognise every single person, but I do see some very familiar faces sitting at a table. There's a large group of people. Some of them are looking at the camera smiling, some are in the middle of eating a pastry, some are drinking coffee. There's way too much to image describe to you guys, but basically it just looks like everyone is just having a really nice time in the photos and tucking into their coffee and cake. So Shamila wrote an article just to summarise the morning, which says, our recent volunteer coffee morning at Bobo and Wild in Wanstead was a truly heartwarming occasion and a small way to say a big thank you to the incredible people who give their time so generously to support our community befriending and mental health befriending services. With sunshine streaming in the room and buzzing gently with conversation, the space was filled with warmth, laughter, and the comforting aroma of fresh coffee and cake. It was wonderful to see so many familiar faces gathered together, taking a well-earned pause to relax, chat and reconnect. Volunteers and service users shared stories, caught up with one another and reflected on the meaningful connections they help create every day. The morning was a simple but powerful reminder of the strength of community. Our volunteers are at the heart of everything we do, and it was a joy to celebrate them in such a cheerful and relaxed setting. Thank you to each and every one of you for your kindness, dedication and the difference you make. We hope you enjoyed the morning as much as we did. So apologies, the reason probably why I didn't recognise some of the people is that some of the people in the photos are also clients of the befriending service as well as volunteers. I didn't realise that, so apologies. Underneath that, we have Celebrating Neurodiversity. April is Autism Acceptance Month. As Autism Acceptance Month begins, organisations and community groups across the UK are highlighting the importance of understanding, inclusion and celebrating neurodiversity. This year, local events are placing a strong emphasis on accessibility and autistic-led creativity. One standout event is the upcoming Laugh Able Comedy Night on Wednesday the 15th of April from 7:30 to 9:30pm, held at Wanstead Library, London, E11 2RQ. Marketed as award-winning, affordable and accessible, the monthly show is offering a special Autism Acceptance Month edition with pay-what-you-can options and the ability to reserve seats for free. The evening will feature headliner Stephen Catlin, MC Mark Nicholas and performances from a diverse lineup of comedians. Book your tickets whilst you still can by visiting tinyurl.com laughable15 April. And that is the end of page 4. Page 5, again, split into 2 sections. Top half is Standing Against Hate. One Place East launches new hate crime awareness project. One Place East believes that everyone deserves to feel safe, respected and valued within their local community. Unfortunately, hate crimes and incidents continue to rise and affect community members. We are excited to inform you about our new hate crime awareness project that has been funded by Protection Approaches. This project involves increasing awareness and understanding of hate crimes as we want to ensure that our community remains a safe place. We have produced a hate crime fact sheet that identifies different types of hate crime, informs you of your rights, gives information on where you can get help, and gives helpful tips on how to stay safe. To help us understand people's experiences of hate incidents and hate crimes in our community, please would you fill in our survey. Your feedback will help us tailor future hate crime awareness activities. This survey is running until the 24th of April, 2026. To complete the survey or to download the fact sheet, please scan the QR code or visit tinyurl.com/OPEHCA. Alternatively, if you would like help to fill in the survey, please contact Carol Gardner on 0208 925 2435 or on her mobile at 07814 205 741. Underneath that, there is just a local elections reminder for people living in the London Borough of Redbridge. That local elections are on Thursday, the 7th of May, 2026. Polling stations are open from 7 a.m. to 10 p.m. And if you are voting by post, you have to send your vote back as soon as you can. You can also take your postal vote to a polling station on the day. It says, important, the deadline to register to vote has now passed, so if you haven't already, you won't be able to vote in these elections. You can only vote if you are already registered, and if you cannot go in person, you may be able to ask for an emergency proxy vote. If you need help or support to vote, please contact Erica Miles at One Place East on 0208 925 2435 or email erica.miles, that's MILES, at oneplaceeast.org. And then just underneath, it says, Your Voice Matters. And that is the end of page 5. Page 6, again, split into 2 sections. Top section is Wellness Day at Redbridge Central Library, hosted by Vision Redbridge. Vision Redbridge is inviting residents to a refreshing wellness day on Tuesday, the 14th of April, from 10 a.m. till 4 p.m. at Redbridge Central Library. The day offers a mix of expert advice, gentle activities, and practical health support for anyone looking to boost their well-being. A full programme of talks, movement sessions and bookable one-to-one in-body consultations, in brackets £5, will run from morning till afternoon, and visitors can also take home free wellness-themed merchandise. The location is Redbridge Central Library, Ilford. To book, you can scan the QR code or you can visit tinyurl.com/Vision Wellness Day. Underneath, an exciting update from One Place East is Calling All Adventurers. This is our latest camping update. So you may already be aware, for the past 2 years running, this will be our 3rd year, we have done an annual camping trip. The first year we went to Sewardstone, which was in between Walthamstow and Chingford. Last year we went to Southampton, and this year we're going to the Isle of Wight. So it's an article just basically saying this is our 3rd year campaign. We want to include as many people as possible in both the planning and the actual time away camping. And so we're having a meeting. So at the meeting, we will share information about the proposed dates, the accommodation options, whether that's because last year we had a mixture. Some people slept in a tent like myself, but we also had a lodge available, and the year before there were like little huts that you could stay in. So based on what people's preferences are, what's accessible and like what needs people have, we'll discuss all of that. And accessibility, so just making sure that everybody's needs are considered and thought about so that everybody can enjoy the trip. And we will also update you on fundraising activities so far. Everyone is welcome to come. So whether you're just interested in attending, want to find out more, you can come along to the meeting on Tuesday the 14th of April at the One Place East office from 2 till 3 p.m. Something just to note is that participants will need to be prepared to cover their own holiday costs, and a deposit of £100 will be required by mid-May to secure a place. We're not 100% sure at this moment in time how much it's actually going to cost. We're hoping it's not going to be much more than £100, but that does depend on our transport options and, again, how many people come, because obviously the cost is divided a lot cheaper by more people come in than not so many people come in. That we cannot provide personal or high level care on the trip. So if you do need like 24-hour care, you will need to bring someone with you. If it's like standard support that we would give in the office, then obviously that would be fine. And places on the camping trip will be limited. So if the demand is high, preference will be given to people who regularly attend One Place East services and activities. So if you just want to know a bit more about it, come along to the meeting on Tuesday, the 14th, from 2 till 3 at the office, and just find out a bit more, because it honestly is a beautiful, beautiful experience. And I'm not a camper. I hated the outdoors prior to these camping trips. But I wouldn't miss it for the world now, because they really are beautiful. And that is the end of page 6. Page 7 is our upcoming events page. So that is for recurring events at One Place East. At the top of the page, there is a QR code that can be scanned, which will take you to the events page of the One Place East website. So from start to finish, we have One Place Reminiscence Group, which is every Monday from 2 to 4 p.m. at the One Place East office. So that is for anybody looking for a warm space to share memories and connect with others. On Tuesdays from 11 till 1 p.m. at Redbridge Central Library, you can find our One Place pop-up. So please go along if you want to know more about the services we offer or to speak to a friendly member of our team. On Thursdays from 10:30 a.m. till 3:30 p.m, we have our Create to Market design workshop at the office. So that is a weekly session where we design and create various items. So it does vary from week to week. So there is something for everyone. And then every Thursday also from 12 p.m, meeting at Ilford Station, we have our Proper Blokes Club walk, which we do in partnership with the Proper Blokes Club. So that is a peer-to-peer walk and talk group for men living in the borough. And then every Wednesday from 5 till 7 p.m, we have One Place Gaming, which is at the office. So that is a social gaming group for adults with any type of disability or mental health condition. It's not just limited to like computer gaming. There's like a room with like PlayStation, Nintendo, etc. And then we've got our smaller meeting room where they tend to play like board games and card games, etc. And then on Saturday, the 25th of April, from 3 till 5 p.m, we have our online Calming the Mind and Body monthly session. That is suitable for anyone suffering from overwhelm, anxiety, depression, PTSD, chronic health conditions, or just people who are wanting to fully relax, unwind, and connect with others. And then our monthly One Place Site Support Group meeting will be on Tuesday, the 5th of May. That is from 11 a.m. till 1 p.m. at Redbridge Central Library. That is our monthly meeting for people with visual impairments. We do have guest speakers that attend the meetings. May's guest speaker is not yet confirmed, but will be in due course. And then lastly, but certainly not least, we have our One Place East Learning Disability Group meeting, which will be held on Tuesday the 12th of May from 4 till 6 p.m. at the One Place East office. And that meeting is for anybody living in Redbridge who has a learning disability. And that is the end of page 7. Page 8 is split into 2 sections. So top half of the page is for our Routes to Activity project walking groups. So our new Routes to Activity project is officially now up and running. You will have seen stuff about it in previous newsletters where we were trying to shape the project. And we're excited to invite local residents to get involved. The project has been shaped with community input and is designed to encourage people to get more active through friendly, supported group walks. As part of the programme, participants can take part in walking challenges, set personal goals, and earn prizes for goals achieved. To support this, One Place East has provided free pedometers and advice on free walking apps that can be used to monitor and record walking activity. So whether you're looking to increase your activity levels, meet new people, or help support others as a peer walk leader, Routes to Activity is a great way to get involved. Come along and take a step towards better well-being and walk with us. So we have 4 different walks taking place, I believe, every month. And all 4 of them are in different parts of the borough, so north, east, south and west. So on Wednesday the 6th of May at 3 p.m, we are meeting at Valentine's Mansion in Emerson Road for the Ilford-based walk. On Monday the 11th of May at 1 p.m, we are meeting at 7 Kings Station. On Monday the 18th of May at 1 p.m, we are meeting at Loxford Polyclinic on Ilford Lane. And on Wednesday the 27th of May at 3 p.m, we are meeting at Manor Park train station. So if you would like to be involved, you can contact Andy Murphy on the One Place East office number or email andy.murphy@oneplaceeast.org. Second half of the page is an update for the Save Newham Libraries campaign by Cynthia Bolin. So this will hopefully be my final blog as the Save Newham Libraries campaign, as all of our demands have been met, which is amazing news. The campaign team organised a celebration party for everyone on Sunday the 22nd of March. We all came together again at the old Spotted Dog Ground, which is where the campaign got started. Tija and I attended from One Place East. We had a meeting before the party. It felt good to stop and recognise what we had done together. We thought about how we would go forward. This involved thinking about how we managed the campaign. We said we should try and plan actions across a month in advance so we can be more organised and keep things strong if we need to take further action. After the May election, we will continue to hold elected officials accountable. This is important to us and we want to make sure our voices are heard. There were lots of food and homemade cake, strawberries and cookies, curry, rice, salad and gravy, and a cup of tea. It was a lovely party and everyone enjoyed it. Thanks to everyone from One Place East who has helped. Tija did a good job on the drums and everyone loved him playing for us at the party. It was a good day and we are proud of what we have done. So that is amazing news. So for anyone who doesn't remember in previous newsletters or hadn't received previous newsletters, the Save Newham Libraries campaign, Newham Council actually planned to slash, I think it was 50% of libraries within the Newham Borough. And Cynthia was a very key person in getting One Place East involved in that campaign. And since the day of action, they have actually cancelled all plans to slash libraries in the borough, which is amazing. So congratulations to everyone involved, because that is a great move for Newham. And that is the end of page 8. Page 9 split into 2 sections. So top half is a wheelchair forum, join the conversation. And on the right hand side, there are 2 images of 2 ladies who I know to be Lisa Kane and Rupal Mehta, who will be the co-chairs for the wheelchair forum, which will be explained in the article. So on the 10th of March, One Place East launched our very latest service user network, the Wheelchair Forum. The event was well attended and people welcomed having a new space for wheelchair users where they would be able to discuss the challenges faced by the community. Popular concerns included transport, accessibility, access to health services and ongoing challenges with wheelchair services. The group also discussed where and how they would like the meetings to take place. Finally, we are really pleased to announce that 2 members of the community have come forward to take on the role of Wheelchair Forum lead. Lisa Kane is a seasoned campaigner when it comes to speaking up for herself and other wheelchair users. Lisa was a regular at demonstrations during the 1980s and 1990s. The combined effort of disabled people at this time led to lasting change. The introduction of Dial-A-Ride, accessible buses, and the Disability Discrimination Act were all success stories achieved through collective action, whose benefits are still enjoyed today. Lisa has continued to speak up in more recent years, agreeing to show MP Wes Streeting exactly what it was like getting around Redbridge on public transport as a wheelchair user. In 2017, campaigning for an end to charges for social care support. Alongside fellow campaigner Wasif Bhatti, Lisa has been crucial in the setting up of the new network and determined to make it a success, bringing about real change. Rupal Mehta is our second co-chair. Rupal describes herself as a disability advocate, and the work she does is firmly rooted in making a change for her community at a local level. Rupal has set up a social group for wheelchair users locally within Redbridge and surrounding boroughs, enabling people to connect with others and get out and about. She supports the work of numerous other local charities, including Citizens Advice, Loxford Polyclinic and the Colours of Redbridge. Rupal is not shy about speaking up for both herself and others and uses social media to draw attention to when organisations and individuals are getting it wrong. We are delighted that the forum is starting up with such fierce and outspoken chairs who will have a track record of bringing about change. And the next meeting for the Wheelchair Forum is Monday the 13th of April from 2 to 4 p.m. at Studio 2 of Redbridge Central Library. So if you are a wheelchair user and you want to get involved in the Wheelchair Forum, please contact Erica at the One Place East office number, or you can email erica.miles@oneplaceeast.org. And then the second half of the page is the upcoming meeting dates for our One Place East for Change project. So our information sharing meeting will be held on Tuesday the 28th of April from 2 to 4 p.m. at the One Place East office. And our campaign meeting will be held on Tuesday the 5th of May from 2 to 4 p.m. also at the One Place East office. So if you're not already aware, One Place East for Change, they have, usually it's 2 meetings a month for campaigns, but for this month it won't be, well for May it won't be. So the previous Save Newham Libraries campaign, One Place East for Change, were part of getting into that. There is another part of the project which will be coming up later in the newsletter. So if you are interested in campaigning all things disability and mental health, you can contact Erica at the One Place East office number, or you can email ericamiles@oneplaceeast.org. And that is the end of page 9. Page 10 split into 2 sections. Top half is honouring our cancer champions, a celebration of achievement and impacts. On Thursday the 26th of March, we held a special event to celebrate the successful completion of our Cancer Awareness Project 2025/26. The evening at One Place East brought together volunteers, families and friends to recognise everyone's hard work and achievements. Over 6 months, we recruited and trained a new team of volunteer cancer champions, with 8 volunteers gaining at least 1 Royal Society of Public Health (RSPH) qualification, and 95% achieved 2. Our awardees were Cynthia Bolin, Lisa Kane, Rick Cray, who is actually pictured to the left of this article, receiving his certificate from Ian Beaver, Claudette Francis Burke, James Hughes, Vimla Mahadu, Teja Seera and Nathan Wallbank. So the project made a strong impact in a short time, including 165 disabled people being reached through outreach, which is amazing, 43 people attending health awareness workshops, 3,248 people engaged overall, including newsletters and digital reach. And our impact data showed that 93% increased their cancer awareness, 98% increased their wider health awareness, 56% felt much more able to look after their health, 37% felt a little more able, and 93% rated the project 5 stars, 7%, so the other 7% rated it 4 stars. And despite the impact we have made in the last 6 months, there are still barriers to screening and healthcare experienced by disabled people. Digital exclusion presents more challenges that OPE is working hard to help overcome. And the project identified that people have very low levels of cancer awareness, especially their family history. We heard many stories of loss, in brackets, loved ones and friends, with people struggling to process and make sense of what had happened. Alongside moments of reflection and thanks, the celebration event provided time to connect, share experiences and celebrate together in a relaxed setting. The event served as a reminder that progress in cancer awareness is built through partnership and shared purpose, and that taking time to recognise success is an important part of sustaining momentum. So congratulations to everybody involved. On the celebration evening, they did actually all, in fact, receive certificates. Unfortunately, they didn't take a group photo, which is why we have just Rick's photo on the left. And then underneath that, we have a national housing demonstration, which will be on Saturday, the 18th of April at 1 p.m. in central London. So disabled people's organisations across London, including Inclusion London, are joining thousands of people to demand rent controls and more accessible council homes. Sky-high rents and a lack of accessible housing are forcing many into hardship. So come along if you would like to and stand together for change. So for more information or support to attend, you can either email Laura. I'll read you her surname because I don't even know how to pronounce that. Vicinanza, Vicinanza, I believe, at inclusionlondon.org.uk, or you can just email erica.miles@oneplaceeast.org. And to the left of that article, there is like a hand holding up a placard with a grey pole and a white bit of paper on it that just has in black capital text, "Fair Rents Now," just to show that there will be a demonstration. And that is the end of page 10. Page 11, again split into two sections. Top sections, quite exciting. One Place East launches a new Faith Tour series. So One Place East is excited to announce the start of our 2026 Faith Tour programme, offering service users the chance to explore and learn about different places of worship across a range of faiths. Tour 1 will take place on the 21st of May, and it will be an Islamic tour at Regent's Park Mosque, one of the most well-known mosques in the UK. Throughout the year, we will continue our journey by visiting different places of worship from a variety of faiths, including Christianity, Hinduism, Judaism, Sikhism, and Buddhism. Each tour aims to promote understanding, respect, and connection between communities. Only 20 places are available for this first tour, so early booking is encouraged. To join any of our faith tours, please contact us at the One Place East office or email info@oneplaceeast.org. So the meeting point for the 21st of May is 11 o'clock at the One Place East office, and we look forward to exploring this new adventure with you. So on the left of this article, there is a flyer which has a dark green background. There are different pictures of different faiths, I believe. So like different places of worship. And I believe the top photo is of a mosque, I believe. Well, I would assume, being as this is the mosque tour, but I might be wrong there. So yeah, really exciting little project that we will be going on. I actually remember doing it in primary school. We went and visited different places of worship, and it was really lovely. I remember it very vividly. So I'm personally not religious, but I'm really looking forward to it because I think you just learn about different cultures and different religions. And yeah, my experiences of visiting different places of worship were really, really positive. They were all super, super welcoming, and yeah. So yeah, if you want to get involved, do contact the office. And then underneath that, we have an image of a photo that was taken from a recent AI workshop that Aways and Jack from our Tech Assistance project put together. And it is of, I'd say there was about 18 people sitting around a table. They all look like they're very much concentrating. And underneath it reads, AI Made Simple, highlights from our interactive workshop. On Tuesday, the 24th of March, One Place East hosted an engaging and interactive AI workshop open to all service users with 15 participants attending. The session introduced what AI is, how it appears in everyday life, such as predictive text and streaming recommendations, and gave everyone the chance to explore a range of tools and ask questions. The facilitator demonstrated popular AI apps, including Gemini, ChatGPT, and Copilot, showing how they can help with practical tasks such as searching the web, translating or reading official letters, and simplifying complex information into plain English. Practical examples highlighted how AI can help reduce everyday stress, from suggesting recipes, drafting polite emails, and spotting potential scams, to offering self-care tips and simple household life hacks. Participants also enjoyed trying creative features such as image editing and style suggestions. Safety and responsible use were strongly emphasised, including advice not to share personal information and not to rely on AI for medical or legal decisions. Accessibility tools like Seeing AI and Be My Eyes were also showcased. Overall, the workshop encouraged service users to see AI as a supportive tool that can help with daily challenges while still valuing critical thinking and personal judgment. So really successful workshop, and as I say, there's a lot of people in the photo, so it looks like it was a really great turnout. If you would like some more information, you can still contact our Tech Assistance project. So the lead for that is Awais Niaz. So you can contact him on the One Place East office number, or you can email Awais, that's OWAIS, .niaz, NIAZ, at oneplaceeast.org. And that is the end of page 11. Page 12, which is the last page of the newsletter, but we're not finished there because there is an insert. So, as usual, the top half of the page is an article, which is One Place East to host Sir Stephen Timms for PIP community feedback. So we're pleased to share that we will be hosting a visit from Sir Stephen Timms, providing a valuable opportunity for our community to be heard at an important moment for disability benefits and support. The purpose of this visit is to create a safe and supportive space for people to share their lived experiences of personal independence payment and to offer direct feedback on proposed or anticipated changes. This session is about ensuring that real voices, real experiences, and real concerns are part of the wider review and discussion process. For many people, PIP plays a crucial role in supporting independence, well-being, and daily life. And changes to the system can have significant impacts. And this visit gives individuals the chance to talk openly about what is working, what isn't, and what support feels essential. Whether people have positive experiences, ongoing challenges, or concerns about the future, all perspectives are valid and welcome. We encourage anyone who is affected by PIP or who supports someone who is to consider attending and taking part in this important conversation. Spaces are limited and we do expect a high level of interest, so to avoid disappointment, booking is essential. So please secure your place by contacting Erica Miles on 0208 925 2435, or you can email erica.miles@oneplaceeast.org. So that will be taking place on Friday the 15th of May from 10 a.m. till 12 p.m. at the Kenneth Moore Theatre. So it will be in the foyer of the theatre. That's on Oakfield Road, IG11BT. So as we say, we do expect a very high interest because we're sure that a lot of people would love to pose some questions or give some feedback about PIP overall. So yeah, do make sure you book so that you don't miss this opportunity. And then underneath that, we just have our usual advert for the One Place East Talking newsletter, which I won't read through because you're listening to it now, which just lets people know we're on YouTube, Spotify, Amazon Music and Apple, and then of course via our website. Just a reminder for people who are able to receive the newsletter via email instead of post, if they could just let me know, just to save on printing and postage costs and to save the environment, obviously. And then just our social media handles for Facebook, Insta, LinkedIn, TikTok, Spotify and YouTube, which are at One Place East. And then we have our funding logos, which have slightly changed. So we have London Borough of Redbridge, NHS North East London, Cabway Awarding Body, MOPAC, Mayor of London, Transport for London and London Marathon Foundation inspiring activities. So they're combined together. That's for the walking project that we mentioned earlier. We have the Lottery Community Fund, and then last but not least, Lloyds Bank Foundation. And then we just have our registered office, our registered charity number, and our company limited by guarantee number. And that is the end of the last page and of page 12. So the newsletter is finished, but me talking to you is not. So for an insert this month, we have a programme for our Mental Health Awareness Week programme, which will be running from the 11th to the 17th of May. So the front page is a purple background with a white One Place East logo, and then white text, which reads Mental Health Awareness Week, 11th to the 17th of May 2026. And then in the centre of the page, we have two little stick men, but one who has like their face scribbled in, and then one who is smiling, and then above that just two speech bubbles, and they're holding hands, so it kind of shows, connecting with one another and having important discussions. Well, that's how I read the image anyway. And then underneath we have an orange text box with white text, which reads Celebrating Wellbeing in Our Community, Mental Health Awareness Week programme. And then on the second page, we have the start of the programme. So on Monday the 11th, which will also be taken on the 26th as well, because this is a 2-part workshop, we have our Journal for Wellness, which is taking place from 6 till 7:30pm, online via Zoom. So the description is, this May, carve out time to slow down, pause and reconnect with yourself for our Journal for Wellness sessions. These gentle, welcoming online workshops offer a supportive space to secure your thoughts and feelings through writing. No experience is needed. Led by Cara Wilson and Sue Morgan, each session includes thoughtful journal prompts and time to write freely and creatively without pressure. Every session also weaves in a calming somatic practice, helping you feel grounded, present and embodied. You can join one session or both, whatever works for you, and all that's needed is curiosity and an open mind. Give yourself the gift of reflection and renewal this May. So we'll do the how to book at the end, because the booking process is the same for every workshop included in this programme. Next, we have a Pathways to Wellbeing, which will be held on Tuesday the 12th of May from 11am till 2:30pm at the One Place East office. So as part of Mental Health Awareness Week, we're inviting you to join a free supportive workshop designed to help you strengthen your mental well-being and build practical skills you can use every day. Pathways to Wellbeing is a welcoming interactive session focusing on self-regulation, emotional management and better sleep, all key foundations for long-term well-being. Whether you're new to the programme or have attended previous workshops, you'll find space to reflect, learn and connect. If you've joined us before, there will be time to reflect on what's changed and share what's worked. Even if you're new, you'll be guided through easy, accessible ideas in a friendly and inclusive environment. Everybody is welcome, and the session is facilitated by Nadia Q Therapy, bringing a compassionate and practical approach to mental health support. So that's on page 2. So now we're moving on to page 3. So on Wednesday the 13th of May, from 10am till 2pm at the office, we have a mental health aware session. So as part of this week, One Place East is hosting a free mental health awareness workshop designed to build understanding, confidence and practical skills around mental health. This accessible and informative session aims to raise awareness of mental health and reduce stigma. It's ideal for anybody who wants a better understanding of mental health, whether for themselves, their family or their community. So what the course covers is what mental health is and how to challenge stigma, a basic knowledge of some common mental health issues, an introduction into looking after your own mental health and maintaining your own well-being, and confidence to support someone in distress who may be experiencing a mental health issue. The workshop offers a safe and supportive space to learn, ask questions and build confidence when talking about mental health. And next we have a tea and talk, which we do annually for Mental Health Awareness Week, which will be on Thursday the 14th of May from 11am to 1pm at the One Place East office. So it's a relaxed and friendly drop-in session taking place and a chance to slow down, connect with others and have open conversations about mental health in a supportive and welcoming space. So at One Place East, we believe in creating supporting communities where friends, family, colleagues and neighbours can come together. So tea and talk is all about connection, whether that means chatting, listening, meeting new people or simply taking a moment to relax with a cup of tea or coffee. There is no pressure, no agenda and no need to book. Just come along as you are, anytime between 11 till 1. Everybody is welcome and you can stay for as little or as long as you like. And then on page 4, which is last but not least, on Friday the 15th of May, Streaming at 7 p.m. via our Facebook and YouTube channels, we have a new episode of our One Place in Conversations podcast, obviously in line with Mental Health Awareness Week. So we believe that bringing important conversations to the forefront are very important, and hosted by Cara Wilson, the podcast will explore key themes around mental health, well-being and lived experience, creating space for open, honest and stigma-free dialogue. Across the week, Cara will be joined by guest speakers with details to be confirmed closer to the time. The series is part of One Place's ongoing commitment to raising awareness, encouraging understanding and amplifying voices within our community. Listeners can expect thoughtful discussions, personal insights and reflections that highlight why talking about mental health matters, not just during Awareness Week, but all year round. So you can listen and follow us on Spotify, Facebook, Instagram or Apple Podcasts at One Place East. Keep an eye on our channels for guest announcement and future episode releases, and join us in being part of the conversation this Mental Health Awareness Week. So we have something happening every single day, well, within the week anyway. So how do you book? Obviously, you don't need to book to stream the podcast, but for the first 4 events mentioned, you can scan the QR code, which is at the bottom of this page on the right hand side, or you can visit tinyurl.com/SU, so that's Sugar Uniform Network. Or support with booking, please contact the One Place East office, or you can email runup@oneplaceeast.org. And that is the end of page 4 and of our Mental Health Awareness Week programme. So we have come to the end of the One Place East Talking newsletter for April 2026. Thank you very much for listening, although it's been a long one. If you would like information on anything included in the newsletter or support with booking onto any of the events, please contact the One Place East office on 0208 925 2435. You can email info@oneplaceeast.org. If you prefer to communicate via mobile or WhatsApp or text, you can contact me on my mobile at 07944 119 899, or you can check out our website at www.oneplaceeast.org for more information on any of the events or upcoming events that are not mentioned in this newsletter. So thank you very much for listening, and I look forward to speaking to you all again in May. Take care.